Assalamu alaikum. I am Professor Muhammad Ahsan Chitta. Today lecture is about analytical chemistry. Fourth semester, the nature of analytical chemistry. As you know, student, analytical chemistry deals with the method for the determining the chemical composition of the sample. It is further subdivided according to nature of our analysis. Qualitative analysis, which provide information about the identity of the species or function group present in our sample to be analyzed. Further analytical chemistry, further qualitative analysis, such as we want to know what types of the compound are present in any substance, in any sample, its colors, its order, and nature. All these properties that depends upon their countings, nature, element, order, smell, all these are qualitative analysis. Basically, you can say that only identify the species or function group present in the substance. Second type of the analysis is quantitative analysis. As you say, quantitative analysis provides numerical information about the analyte. Numerical means exact quantity, exact amount of substance to be analyzed. We want to determine exact amount of substance. According to our these classification, we classify the analytical chemistry into these qualitative and quantitative analysis that is done in previous method. Is two types: classical method and number 2 is the instrumental method. Number 1 is classical method and number 2 is the instrumental method. Classical method, these are also known as wet chemical method. Wet chemical method, in which we determine precipitation, any amount of solid substance, extraction, separation of any liquid on the basis of its particular temperature or boiling point. Similarly, at boiling point separation is the distillation, separation of one liquid from another, boiling of the any component of the sample, melting points, gravimetry, the analysis that is based on the mass amount of that is precipitated in the reaction, and last is trimetric measurement, in which we measure the volumetrical titration, measure the amount of standard reagent it is utilized to determine the amount of analyte. Second and most important method is instrumental method. This instrumental method is both qualitative method as well as quantitative method. In qualitative instrumental method, we just want to know how much जो है वो want to know that what the identification of any compound such as any sample present this compound, carbon, hydrogen, so on element, colors, that flame test, any compound that give flame test of what's color, that's for example sodium gave जो है वो golden color, potassium gave violet colors, similarly you have brick red colors, or barium जो है वो gives apple green color, your vegetable green color. Similarly, these are flame tests, and other these are have identification tests which are done are known as instrumental method, but these are classical instrumental method. Qualitative, classical, qualitative and classical method, or further is subdivided into qualitative instrumental method. Qualitative instrumental method, qualitative and instrumental method, we measure the conductivity, electrode potential, light absorption, emission, mass to charge ratio, fluorescence, all these are measured by using instrument. Here is chart given. Quantitative analysis used in measuring by quantity is two types further classified in here. One is the volumetrical method, this one is traditional or classical method. Second is gravimetric method. Volumetrical method is that method in which we taken the standard reagent with known concentration, react with unknown substance of the sample to analyze that. This is known as volumetric method. In second type of method, gravimetric, we use this method in reaction to know how much amount of any substance is obtained in that case. This is known as gravimetric method. For example, we determine the amount of barium in barium substance. Second is modern instrumental method. Modern instrumental method is various types. Spectrometry. Spectrometry is the absorption of the radiation and interaction of the mass is known as spectrometry. Spectrometry have various, it's further subdivided. You know that it is various types: UV, IR, NMR, mass spectrometry, and various other is type: Raman, ESR, atomic absorption, so on. These are absorption absorption spectroscopy. Third important is the crystallography. These are the modern instruments in which we want to know any information quantitatively of about the crystal of the substance. Next is electrochemical analysis. Electrochemical analysis and thermal analysis. Electrochemical analysis are based on the current passage or current increase or decrease, while thermal analysis we want to determine the therm, mean heat. Separation techniques. Modern separation techniques and classical separation techniques such as chromatography and many others have separation techniques. That are various phenomena. Separation mostly have a basis on the distribution law. Hybrid technique most commonly utilized. Hybrid technique, yani combination or two or more. Here the as given, there's high performance liquid chromatography coupled with mass spectrometry and various other techniques to completely analyze and determine the amount of any substance in trace amount even. Its further instrumental types is microscopy. Microscopy is further subdivided. Very trace amount of any substance can be analyzed by microscopy. Further, all these are applied, then micro total analysis system. Micro total analysis system. How we perform a typical quantitative analysis. The process of doing analysis involves a number of steps which might not be done in sequence shown as here, but these points must be considered before analysis. 1. Decide and analyte method, collecting and preparation of the sample, and third one is processing sample. Fourth one is defining sample to be analyzed. Elimination of interference. The fifth and most important one is the calibration of the measurement, then calculating result and calculation the estimate reliability of the result our calculation. These are various steps we done typical analytical analysis. Deciding an analytical method. The first we decide the analytical method, that is based how much accuracy required, cost of total our investment, number of sample we have to analysis, time required to analysis, skill required for that analysis, complexity of the sample, number of components present in the sample. All these parameters determine the method which we utilize in analysis. Number 2, perform sampling method. Sampling is to taken the sample from from any bulk substance which represents the any whole sample is known as sample. Sampling is process of collecting small mass of the material whose composition accurately represents the bulk of the material which is taken. To produce meaningful information, analysis must be performed on a representative scale. For large heterogeneous sample, great effort is required to get representative sample. Sometimes proper sampling is not most difficult step in analysis as source of greater error. The final result of analysis will never be more reliable than reliability of the sample step. The sample must be of the liquid, gas, granule, solid, any metal alloy. So in case of liquid, gas, granule, solid and metal, we apply the different sampling technique to get the sample of these substances. Perform typical quantitative analysis, processing the sample. The third step is analysis is to process the sample. Sometimes no sample processing is required prior to measurement, such as pH of the water can be measured directly under most circumstances. no need to be processed the variety of different way, but in many cases there need to prepare for the sample for analysis, defining replicated data. Second is process. Perform a typical analysis. Fourth step, the eliminating the interferences. Need to be eliminate the substance from the sample that may interfere with the measurement step. Few chemical or physical properties of importance in chemical analysis are unique to single chemical species. On other hand, the analyte that affect the final measurement are called interferences. Interferences cause an error in the analysis by enhancing or attenuating the quantity being measured. This is the definition of the interferences. ये वो सब्सटेंस है जो हमारे जो एनालिसिस को या तो ये बढ़ा सकता है या उसमें कोई तब्दीली ला सकता है। इस तरह हमारे जो एक स्कीमेटिक डिज़ाइन हमने जो किया है वो जो है सैंपल का रिलायबल नहीं रहेगा। तो इस तरह जो है वो हम जो इंटरफेरेंस है उसको सबसे पहले एलिमिनेट करते हैं। नेक्स्ट इज द कैलिब्रेशन मेजरमेंट। Calibration and measurement. An analytical result depends upon final measurement of physical and chemical property. Ideally, the measurement of property is directly proportional to the concentration as given in equation, where K is proportionality constant. The process of determining K is important step in most analysis. This step is known as calibration. Determine the constant which is required to precise measurement is known as here calibration method. Next is calculating result. Analyte concentration from experimental data need to be calculated. These computations are based on the raw material data collected in the measurement step, the characteristic of the measurement instrument and stoichiometry of the analytical reaction. This is the calculating result. Next is the evaluating result by estimate reliability. Analytical results are incomplete without estimate their reliability. Some measure of the uncertainty associated with computed result need to be provided. Thank you, student. This is all about the various types of analysis, classical, modern, qualitative and quantitative is further types, and a typical analysis of analytical analysis of various type of typical analysis are given here. Hopefully you understand well about this. Thank you for waiting your question.